When it comes to high-stakes legal battles in professional sports, few cases have captured public attention quite like Jon Gruden's lawsuit against the NFL and its commissioner, Roger Goodell. But here's where it gets controversial. The Nevada Supreme Court has just delivered a major blow to the league's attempt to force arbitration in this explosive case. And this is the part most people miss. What happens next could reshape how disputes are handled not just in football, but across all professional sports. Back in November 2021, Gruden filed a lawsuit alleging that the NFL and Goodell deliberately leaked damaging emails from an internal investigation into the Washington franchise. These emails were part of what was supposed to be a confidential probe, but their release had devastating consequences for Gruden. He claims the leaks weren't accidental. They were orchestrated to pressure him into resigning from his position as head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And it worked. With his reputation tarnished and career derailed, Gruden decided to fight back legally. Initially, things seemed promising for Gruden when the trial court sided with him. However, the NFL appealed, arguing that the matter should go through arbitration instead of being decided in open court. The basis for this argument? A clause buried deep within the NFL's constitution and bylaws, which grants the commissioner sweeping powers, including the authority to arbitrate any dispute deemed detrimental to the league's interests. According to the league, this provision gave Goodell the final say on whether Gruden's claims could proceed in court or needed to be resolved privately. But the Nevada Supreme Court saw things differently. In a decisive 5-2 ruling, the justices determined that the arbitration clause at the heart of the NFL's defense is unconscionable and therefore unenforceable against Gruden, who is no longer employed by the league. At the core of their reasoning was the concern that allowing Goodell to oversee arbitration involving his own conduct would create an unacceptable conflict of interest. As the court pointed out, it would enable the commissioner to essentially judge himself, which undermines the fairness of the entire process. To make matters worse for the NFL, the court also took issue with the league's ability to amend its constitution whenever it sees fit. This unchecked power, according to the ruling, renders the arbitration. For instance, why does the league believe so strongly in keeping these matters behind closed doors? Is it truly about protecting the integrity of the game, or is there something else at play? If the case proceeds in open court, fans and analysts alike will finally get answers to critical questions. Who exactly authorized the release of those damaging emails? Why did it happen during the regular season, potentially jeopardizing the credibility of the entire league? And perhaps most intriguingly, what motivated such a calculated move against one of the NFL's most prominent figures? Of course, this isn't the end of the road for the NFL. The league is likely to appeal the decision to the United States Supreme Court, following a pattern set in previous cases where state courts ruled against forcing arbitration. Whether the nation's highest court decides to hear the case remains to be seen, but if it does, the stakes couldn't be higher. Will the justices side with the Nevada Supreme Court, affirming the importance of judicial oversight in cases involving potential conflicts of interest? Or will they rule in favor of the NFL, reinforcing the league's preference for private arbitration? For now, the focus remains on Gruden and his quest for justice. If the case moves forward in court, it could provide unprecedented insight into the inner workings of the NFL and the mechanisms used to manage crises. On the other hand, if arbitration becomes the ultimate venue, we may never learn the full story behind the leaks, or who gave the green light for what many are calling a code red against Gruden. So what do you think? Should the NFL be allowed to handle sensitive disputes internally, or does the public deserve to know the truth? Share your thoughts in the comments below. It's conversations like these that keep us engaged and informed.